Here are 3 educational keynotes for the motivational speech titled Studio Microphone 9. Your Story Matters. Keynotes 1. Every life is a lesson. Each person's journey carries valuable lessons that can educate, inspire, and guide others. Your story, no matter how ordinary it seems, has the power to teach resilience, empathy, and purpose. 2. Owning your narrative, understanding and embracing your own story helps you build confidence, emotional intelligence, and self-awareness. When you take charge of your narrative, you turn experiences into wisdom and struggles into strength. 3. Sharing to inspire growth. Sharing your story is not about seeking attention, it's about spreading light. When you speak your truth, others find courage to face their own challenges and believe in their potential to grow and learn. Sure, here's a 500-word educational and motivational expansion of Keynote 1, Every Life is a Lesson. It's written in the motivational book/speech style, with a reflective and inspiring tone suitable for audiobook narration. Every life is a lesson. Every human life carries within it a story of moments, choices, trials, and triumphs. No two journeys are ever the same, yet each one has the power to teach, to inspire, and to transform. The beauty of life lies not in perfection but in progression, in how we rise after we fall, and in how we learn from every chapter that unfolds. Whether your path has been smooth or filled with storms, your experiences hold lessons worth sharing and worth remembering. Think of life as an ever-evolving classroom. Each day offers new subjects to learn: patience, gratitude, courage, forgiveness. Some lessons arrive softly, through kindness and success, others come wrapped in pain and failure. But every single one of them shapes you into who you are meant to be. The important part is recognizing that your story is not random, it's a curriculum designed for your personal growth. Education doesn't only happen in schools, it happens in the silent hours of struggle, in moments of doubt, in acts of resilience. When life tests you, it's teaching you something greater than any textbook ever could. The heartbreak that once broke you teaches you empathy. The setback that humbled you teaches you persistence. The success that followed your hard work teaches you gratitude. Each moment, whether joyful or painful, becomes a teacher in disguise. Too often, we underestimate our own journey. We think, my story isn't special. But the truth is, every story matters because it carries wisdom born from lived experience. What seems ordinary to you might be extraordinary to someone else who is searching for hope. A student struggling to find purpose might find inspiration in your story of perseverance. A person who feels unseen might feel understood because you dared to share how you once felt the same. In that exchange, learning happens. Growth happens. When you begin to view your life as a series of lessons, everything changes. Failures stop feeling final. Mistakes become stepping stones. Even pain becomes purposeful. You start to see patterns, how every ending led to a new beginning, how every difficulty refined your strength, and how every experience added a layer to your understanding of the world. Remember, education is not only about gathering facts but about cultivating wisdom. And wisdom comes from reflection, pausing long enough to ask, what is life trying to teach me here? The moment you ask that question, you turn experience into enlightenment. You evolve from being a passive participant in life to an active learner of it. So, the next time you feel your story isn't worth telling, think again. Your story holds lessons that someone, somewhere, needs to hear. Your life is a living book filled with lessons of core. Absolutely, here's a 400-word motivational and educational expansion of Keynote 2, Owning Your Narrative. Written in the same inspirational audiobook/motivational book style, clear, thoughtful, and deeply empowering. Owning your narrative. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must decide whether to let their story define them or to define their story themselves. Owning your narrative means taking responsibility for who you are, where you've been, and where you're going. It's about understanding that while you cannot rewrite the past, you can choose how it shapes your future. Many people walk through life carrying silent chapters, moments of pain, rejection, or regret they wish they could erase. But true growth begins when you stop running from those pages and start reading them with courage and compassion. When you own your story, you give yourself permission to learn from it, not hide from it. You begin to see that your scars are not signs of weakness, they are proof that you survived and grew stronger. Education teaches us facts and figures, but self-awareness teaches us meaning. To own your narrative is to become a lifelong learner of yourself, to study your emotions, your reactions, your patterns, and your purpose. It is an inner form of education, one that empowers you to turn reflection into transformation. The more you understand your story, the more control you have over the direction of your life. Owning your story also builds emotional intelligence. It teaches you to take pride in your progress rather than comparing your journey to others. It reminds you that you are not a collection of mistakes, but a mosaic of lessons. Every choice, even the difficult ones, has contributed to your becoming. When you embrace that truth, you stop seeking validation from the outside world and begin to live from a place of inner confidence and peace. And perhaps most importantly, owning your narrative allows you to speak your truth with authenticity. When you no longer feel ashamed of your past or uncertain about your identity, your voice gains power. You begin to inspire others, not by pretending to be perfect, but by being real. Your honesty becomes your strength, your vulnerability becomes your wisdom, and your journey becomes your message. So, stand tall within your story. You are both the author and the main character. Own your narrative with pride, for it is the foundation of your growth, the reflection of your courage, and the map that leads you toward your greatest potential. Here's a powerful and emotional ending for your motivational speech. Your story matters, written in a strong, educational, and inspiring audiobook tone that brings all three keynotes together beautifully. Conclusion: your story matters. In the grand classroom of life, every experience, every joy, every pain, every victory holds meaning. You are not a random collection of moments, you are a living lesson, a testimony of learning, courage, and growth. Your journey, with all its imperfections, has purpose. It teaches you, and through you, it teaches the world. When you embrace your story, you claim your strength. When you understand your story, you gain wisdom. And when you share your story, you give others the gift of hope. Each word you speak, each truth you reveal, can become the spark that lights someone else's way. Never underestimate the power of what you've lived through. It can inspire someone to keep living through their own challenges. Education is not only what we gain from books and classrooms, it is also what we learn from life itself. Your life is your greatest textbook. Every chapter has something to teach about love, resilience, failure, and faith. The lessons you've gathered are not meant to be hidden, they are meant to guide, to uplift, and to remind others that growth is always possible. So, as you move forward, walk with pride in your story. Speak your truth with confidence. Carry your lessons with humility. Because your story, your unique, unrepeatable journey, matters. It matters to you, to those around you, and to the world that learns from your courage. Remember this: the power of your life lies not in how perfectly it's lived, but in how truthfully it's told. Your story matters, because you matter.